Around here, citrus trees pop off in the winter and keep producing bushels of fruit until the summertime. If you live in Phoenix and anyone you know has a citrus tree in their yard, you can expect a huge box of free blood oranges or Eureka lemons starting in January, and you won't be able to give no for an answer. There's simply too many of them. You don't need to be told how useful citrus is in the kitchen, but when I find myself needing to get rid of pounds and pounds of the stuff, I make Oleo-Saccharum. All it takes is about a cup of citrus peels and a half cup of sugar. The amount doesn't have to be exact, and you can eyeball it, scale it up, or scale it down depending on your desired batch size. You can use all grapefruit, all lime, a mix of 3 different citrus. There really aren't many rules here. Just peel the colorful zest away from the white pith, set the zest in a bowl, and pour sugar over it. Some people speed up the process by mashing the zest with a muddler or vacuum sealing the mixture, but I just let it sit on the countertop all day, stirring it up every couple of hours when I pass by it. The oils, oleo, get pulled out of the peels by the sugar, saccharum, and you're left with a sweet syrup that tastes like a pure expression of the fruit that you used. This lasts several weeks in the fridge, and I've seen people add Everclear to it to help it last even longer. If you've ever had that really good lemonade from the State Fair or hot dog on a stick, this is how you'd replicate that flavor. Make an Oleo-Saccharum out of 6 lemons and 1 cup of sugar, waiting at least 2 hours for the oils to extract. Even better, leave it overnight. Boil 5 cups of water, dissolve the Oleo-Saccharum in said water, and then strain the sweetened water into a container. Take those 6 peeled lemons, cut them in half, and juice them all into the container. Let this cool and serve it over ice. This, to me, is peak lemonade, and it works just as well for limeade. It's all possible because of one fancy little syrup with a long, pretentious sounding name. When you make Oleo-Saccharum, you can strain the solids out and use that in place of simple syrup in any cocktail. Imagine swapping out the simple syrup for an old-fashioned with orange oleo. Try using a lime oleo to sweeten your Jamaica instead of plain sugar. I bet you're starting to see why high-end bartenders love Oleo-Saccharum so much, and we just so happen to be living through a sort of revolution taking place in the space. Some people are using citric and malic acid instead of sugar to draw out the citrus oils and using that oleocitrate to make what they're calling super juice, which allows bartenders to wildly increase yield and reduce waste. I'll link to the video I saw where this is explained in detail. Before I go, I want to talk about ginger syrup. This technically is not an Oleo-Saccharum since there's no citrus oil in ginger, but the underlying concept is still sort of there. Take a whole knob of ginger, skins and all, slice it into manageable pieces, and then mash it up in a food processor with a half cup of sugar. Scrape the bowl and let it sit for 5 minutes before blitzing and scraping once more. The sugar is going to melt into those ginger juices, and you're able to strain the solids out to make one absolute punch in the mouth of ginger syrup. Remember my impressive cocktail video in which I advised you to make a ginger syrup by plopping a couple slices of ginger into a pot of honeyed water? Wrong. That is not impressing anybody. We're out here making cocktails out of ingredients that have 6 syllables in them now. We need a honey ginger syrup that'll spontaneously generate pectoral follicles. I'll take my 1600 SAT score now, please. It's only a decade late. Kettle and Fire has paid to be mentioned at the end of this video. Kettle and Fire is a brand of bone broth that uses 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef bones and 100% pasture-raised chicken bones. They simmer the bones for over 20 hours with organic vegetables, spices, and apple cider vinegar, and there are no antibiotics, no artificial preservatives, colors, or flavors added. You can use this stuff like regular chicken or beef broth in recipes like a braise, but these days a lot of people just heat up a mug of pure bone broth and sip that on its own, especially if they're aiming to address personal health goals like increased collagen or Whole30 compliant protein intake. You can buy Kettle and Fire online and save 20% with a delivery subscription, but it's also available in every major US grocery store. I like the idea of a high quality broth that has a 2-year shelf life without artificial preservatives, and it's a fitting product for an ad at the end of a video all about extracting the good stuff from simple ingredients. If you do choose to buy some of Kettle and Fire's bone broth, use this code at checkout and get 20% off of your entire order. The code and the link will be in the description as well.